This video is a replay of a trade I took today. Now, it probably goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I am not a financial advisor, and trading entails risk. Just because I got these results today doesn't mean that I can get these every day, nor that you can. Remember, the entire premise of the investing project and the $1 million experiment is that I am not an expert, and yet I am learning how to do this. So for heaven's sake, don't just blindly copy me. Instead, find a mentor, someone who is an expert, and join their community. Pay for their mentorship. This approach has worked very well for me, and it likely will for you too. So use this video partly as education and partly as inspiration. After all, if I can learn this, you can too. All right, so not a lot to show for today, but an interesting development or decision, I guess, on my part. But I'm going to play this back, and I'll show you what I was doing. So I got in initially on the second green bar here. Actually, it wasn't green yet. It popped up, and it was starting to look quite promising. And that's where I sort of caught my attention. I said, you know what, I am going to go ahead and put my buy order in right around 29,620. Well, 23 is close enough. I got 22. And so I put it in there. And if you recall from past videos, after 50 points in the right direction, I have on the NQ, I have the stop move to break even, and then I trail 50 points behind the high. And as you saw, this was really quick, but as you saw, it retraced 50 plus a little bit, took me out for a, what was it, $32 gain, and then went on about its business and going up, and I missed it because I was out. And that's the danger of trailing a stop, obviously. The reason you do it, though, is because very often the market turns around, and if you're not paying attention, it may turn around and take you all the way out again to your full loss or to your break-even point, and you will not have captured anything. So, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But the question is how tight to make that trailing stop. And for a while now, on the NQ, I trail at 50. I don't trade the NQ that often, especially for the $1 million experiment, because it's just a little, the risk reward isn't usually that great. But I have on a number of occasions been stopped out by just a couple of points. So like 50 seems too tight. You know, 100 seems too loose. So somewhere in between. And I've been noodling with the idea of making it, say, 70 for some time. And so I'm going to show you what would have happened today if in fact it had been 70, as I've been noodling around doing. So let's actually rewind this a little bit now and just go through that little exercise. And where we go? It's right about here. Let's see if I can get it back to the right point for entry. All right, and so what I'm going to do here is I'm now going to switch this to a 70 bracket, a trailing stop. Put the buy back in here at 29,623, and then let's just let this thing play and see what the difference is. Now, I didn't specifically back engineer this. I've been noodling around with the idea that 70 is probably a better number for quite some time. But as we'll see here, right in that retrace is when I stopped out on the 50, trailing stop. But here we have a couple of points where it comes back down to almost that level, and then it goes on. And so it was kind of interesting to see that second retrace almost took me out, but at the 70 it held. In any event, it went through and hit the target at 200 points, and 200 NQ points on the micro NQ is $400. So instead of making $32, that would have been a $400 trade, but for the fact that I was trailing it too tightly. Anyway, I've been noodling around changing that for some time, so I'm going to do that now and trade it on the 70 trailing stop for a bit and just see how that goes. You know, I don't love the trailing stop anyway, frankly, but it does help me a bit, especially when I can't fully pay attention to what's going on. Anyway, $32 trade today, could have been 400. Oh well.